Hi, welcome back to Veganized by Veli. Today I'll be showing you how to make vegan Dominican Sancocho. This recipe absolutely slaps. It slaps me back to the island and it pays homage to the ancestors, to the culture, the history of the Dominican Republic. It's one of my absolute favorite dishes, and here I'm showing you how I veganized it. The main sancocho ingredients are auyama, cabocha squash, ñame, yautía amarilla, yautía blanca, yautía morada, navel orange because I didn't have the usual bitter orange that's used, garlic, corn, carrot, yuca, potatoes, guineos verdes, which are green bananas, and plátanos verdes, which are unripe or green plantains. I highly recommend that before you start cooking, you prep all your vegetables. This includes peeling them, washing them, chopping them or slicing them, washing the herbs, having the sofrito ready. That way you can minimize the time that it takes you to start and finish this dish. Honestly, the most tedious part is prepping everything, but the cooking process itself is pretty easy once you have all the ingredients ready on standby to be added at the time that they should be added in. To start off the recipe, here are the herbs that we used. We used lots of sofrito, cilantro macho, which is Mexican cilantro, culantro, scallions, purple onions, sweet peppers. It's pretty much what's already in the sofrito, but we wanted to add additional flavor by adding some whole pieces of the herbs and peppers. This sancocho was enough for 10 to 15 generous servings. We use 4 Beyond Sausage hot Italian links and 2 field roast Italian sausage links. I chopped those up into rounds and I stir-fried them until they were golden brown. If you see someone's hand that's not mine or someone behind, it's my mom. I enlisted her to help me out. I wanted to make sure that when I recreated this dish and I veganized it, it tasted good. So she was the MVP because she is, she's the expert on this. Also, my mom and I are both in agreement in that the meat is really not needed for this dish. We really thought that it was the meat that gave the dish the flavor, but it's really not. It's the root vegetables, it's the seasoning. So you can totally do this without this vegan meat. And in fact, I think next time I'm going to try it without because we are certain that this doesn't make or break the dish. Once the sausages are golden brown, remove them from the pan and set them aside. We'll add them at the very end. Okay, yeah, for real, let's start the recipe. The first step is to add to a warm or hot pot olive oil, sofrito, mashed garlic, Dominican oregano. Let that stir fry for a few minutes. Liquid smoke. Better than bouillon, no chicken base. Whole allspice, which I'm going to add to a little container, a little mesh container that will keep the allspice in. I'm adding in some water. You're going to need plenty of water. And the reason this water looks green is because this is where I made the sofrito earlier. So I'm just picking up that goodness. Put in the allspice. Go in with low sodium soy sauce, 1 not beef cube, the auyama or squash pieces are first up. Let that come to a boil and add in the ñame, yuca, potatoes, carrot, yautía. Mix it around and add water as needed. Actually, one hack my mom taught me is that while you're making the sancocho, you should always have boiling water on at least one of the other burners. That way, when you need to re-up the water level in this pot, you have already hot water that's available to be added. Add in 1 vegetable bouillon cube. Now that the root vegetables are somewhat tender, you add in the plátanos. Everything I'm adding to or doing to the pot on the right, the silver pot, I'm doing in parallel to the pot on the left, the black pot. So in total, this recipe, like I said before, makes a generous serving that's big enough for 10 to 14 people, or 10 to 14 servings. So if you don't want that much food, just cut the measurements in half. We're not quite done yet, but we're closer to the end. At this point, you can add in the purple onion, the sweet peppers, and the hard, stalky part of the cilantro. Add in the corn. The guineos verdes, aka green bananas. This is a great point to do a salt check-in. So take a little bit of the broth and taste it for salt content. Adjust to your taste preferences. Here you see my mom taking a few pieces of the squash. She's going to put it into a small bowl and just mash it up and throw it back into the sancocho. This will thicken up the broth a bit and give it more depth of flavor. You can also add in your scallion. Add black pepper to taste. And since pretty much everything is cooked, we're now going in with fresh herbs and the vegan meat. Get those juices. The last touch is to squeeze in some fresh lime. The herbs have done their due diligence. You can take them out. Get those juices. For real, this recipe slapped, and it slaps, and it will continue to slap. And that is it. That is all, folks. Serve yourself up a nice, generous bowl with some rice on the side, some avocado, some hot sauce, some jalapenos if you're into that. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like this video, share it with anybody who might find it useful or interesting, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. Bye-bye!